everyone, and Merry Christmas for the year 2025. It's been almost a whole nother year, hard to believe. Anyway, for this year's Christmas special, I will be reviewing the Haslab Robots in Disguise Omega Prime set with Ultra Magnus and Fire Convoy, or Optimus Prime, or whatever you want to call him. And I hope everyone's having a wonderful Christmas with their families and all that, and gave and got some gifts they would like to enjoy. For comparison, here we have the old with the new. Not very often I get to do that, and let alone often I get to do that with a Haslab. Granted, there's at least one Haslab that they never even really did an original figure for. I'm talking about you, Unicron. Anyway, here we have the Haslab Ultra Magnus and obviously Fire Convoy. This is the original 2001 figures. I did do a review on these two guys in the past, and even though they have lots of electronics and rubber tires, I love the rubber tires. Pretty much anything that's spring-loaded is not spring-loaded in these guys. The biggest complaint I have of, difference-wise as far as the new one is concerned is that these lights right here for the siren on new Fire Convoy, they're just 5mm pegs. They just pop off really easily, so they could get lost or come loose. They're not quite as big. They don't stick up as much, so they look a little smaller. The proportions are slightly different because Ultramax transforms quite a bit differently from the original one. He is pretty much identical to him, but not quite. I'm not going to really point out all the differences for them, but it'll be, if you have had these guys, you'll definitely notice a difference in transformation. I do, like I said, I do like the spring-loaded stuff. There's none of it on here, but one thing that is a bit of an improvement in the sense of you don't have to worry about these getting bumped ever so slightly, and then they, like, no provocation, will flip out, whereas on here you have to manually flip them out, and I don't think they shoot out any at all. I don't even think that they do come out, but I don't think they shoot out. Yeah, they just pull out. But I do like how that extends like that, and it funks into place. But I do like how strong the joint is and the connections for all this. Granted, it is newer, but I would like to think that a good portion of it's also just updated engineering to help hold the truck mode together. Because this guy, I mean, don't get me wrong, he is cool, but as I was trying to lift this up even one click, yeah, it popped out. So I think part of it's engineering and part of it is just that he's so old. He is, like I said, the biggest gripe I have with him is the rubber tires. It's a blessing and a curse. The gun weapon, my version of, well, I bought mine used. This one did not have the bullets, so, and it's also not its own transformer like in the Haslab set. I know that this is sort of, I did just say for comparison, but there are some significant differences considering that they did re-engineer it. I thought it would be best to go in more depth, and just to give a sheer count of how high this goes, like, my stand is now fully extended to its full height, and you can have and this is all the way up here. Oh, one other thing. I mean, I guess I may as well do it right now. Let's go ahead and put this little guy in here, and there's a little bucket for him so he can be a firefighter. Let's see, does this flip out? I think this might flip out. Nope, I don't think that flips out. I think that's just molded in detail, but that'd be nice if he had other hoses. But I think, let's see, this Nope, can't rotate around to be in the front. So you have to choose between bucket or hoses. So, we know what time it is. Transformation time! Here we have Ultra Magnus in his robot mode, along with Blue Sparks in her robot mode. And they look pretty cool together. The only downside of having Blue Sparks in her robot mode is that then he has no weapons. Nothing of any kind, unless you want to literally disarm her or something like that, or just transform her into the weird gun mode thing. Let's take a closer look at Blue Sparks. I do like that head sculpt. It reminds me kind of like a bird, like some sort of bird mask with the beak right there and the bottom of the mouth. Just very bird-like. And I love those eyes with a little bit of black around the edges, and even the two-toned blue plastics for that head sculpt. Definitely a weaponizer, and even though she has no actual hands, I think she actually looks really cool. And it's just a shame that she is a weaponizer and doesn't transform like a normal transformer. She is a parts former, but still pretty cool. Stiff at the moment, because I haven't transformed her very often. But articulation, head is on a bulge. It can look up and down, gets a little bit wibbly wobbly. Can do a full 360. Arms can go out that far. Can do a full 360. Elbow rotation. Over 90 bent at the elbow. I guess technically that could be considered wrist rotation, but it's just gun rotating around. Waist rotation. I guess you can kind of sort of consider that a back bend, but no ab crunch. Thigh rotation. Legs can go forward that far. Back that far. Thigh rotation. Did I already say that? Probably. Way over 90 bent at the knee. A smidge of ankle tiltage. And that's pretty much it for the articulation. I will say the feet design is very interesting. I think it's supposed to be like hoses and stuff for the gun mode, but it does give like old-timey stocking or shoes kind of feel. But that is something. It's pretty cool, I guess. Makes you think of the Last Night figures, or dinosaur. the Dinobots, where they have feet similar to that. And for Ultra Magnus, let's take a look at that noggin of his. Very well detailed. Oh man, I just love the coloration on that head, that face. It's just so gorgeous. And that Autobot emblem, man, he is stunning. And then from the side of that face, oh man, just that profile with the nose. I mean, Optimus looks cool with the faceplate and all that, but man, oh man, did they go all out on this head sculpt. It looks fantastic. Can look up and down. Gets quite a bit of wibbly wobbly. Like I said, I already showed 360. Arms can go out about that far. Now, if you want to untab them from here, you could probably get a bit more up that way, but I'm not going to do that. Arms can pretty much do a full 360, but the wings in the back get in the way. Bicep rotation, but it's low enough down that it could be also considered elbow rotation. A little less than 90 bent at the elbow, but considering how chunky his arms are, that's pretty impressive. Wrist rotation and bend because of a ball joint. Hands do fold. Fingers do fold, or thumb does fold in like that. It has a little tab, or I should say 5mm plug. No waist rotation, but that's also because the way he transforms is he is also a parts former, but that's also because he is power armor essentially for his brother. Anyway, legs can go forward that far on a ratchet, and you can see just how much leg he is compared to torso. Can't really go any further back just because of, well, the backpack. Get a thigh rotation. Can do the full splits. Yeah, I said thigh rotation. Gets about a little over 90 bent at the knee. And it looks like he's about to come off of his stand. And he actually has a little extra piece to help hold him on the stand as well. But yeah, that's... and then he actually has a little bit of ankle tiltage, unlike the original. If you desire to have blue bolts being held or used by Ultra Magnus, you just rotate these like so. And they should plug in like on the original Ultra Magnus. There we are. And then thumbs are supposed to go like right in there. And as silly as a gimmick this is as far as like guns are concerned for like Transformers, I mean it's not the worst, I guess, but it means that he can't really utilize any other weapons while using blue bolts. But yeah, that's still pretty cool, especially when you see his eyes are facing the crosshairs of the weapon, so that's pretty cool. But I like blue bolts. I think it's kind of cool that they made it a robot, even if it is a weaponizer, even if she is a weaponizer and all that. So there is a way to store blue bolts, so I'll just go ahead and show what that looks like. Well, there is the Energon matrix that they gave Ultra Magnus since he and Optimus couldn't seem to share or whatever, and that's how Omega Prime came about apparently, is because well, Ultra Magnus wanted to force the combination on his brother so he could use the Energon matrix to do what he wanted to do. And I will say, at least when you do it like this, I guess it kind of fills up the gap in there. And here we have the rest of blue bolts stored away. It's not the prettiest, but I mean it utilizes pretty much all of the open gap space in Ultra Magnus's legs. So if you're not planning on keeping them in the Omega Prime configuration or in vehicle mode, this is a good way to store blue bolts instead of having her set off to the side. And here we have these two big, ill-proportioned Ultra Magnuses, Ultra Magni, whatever you want to say. Obviously the newer one has more improvements, is a better engineering, but the old one is still very cool and is just here to show the differences. If you want to see more about him, take a look at my review that I did a while back. Well, it's about time for, you know what? Transformation. In the later little clip, I made a little bit of a boo-boo. I forgot to push that little panel back. So for the rest of this video, you'll see it in the wrong position. Just wanted to show it in the proper position here. Thanks! Here we have Fire Convoy in the non-super mode, but with the booster missile packs, which are the feet of the super mode. I think they look pretty cool. This is obviously the original one, has more chrome on the chest and all that. The chest does look a little bit odd, but I will admit I do have it butterflied back just a little bit, so that is technically partly mistransformed, but still looks pretty good. Although I will say the gap is a little bit larger than right there. And the only difference between this and standard robot mode is the shoulder pack. So just imagine these just popped off, and then you have regular plain old, I don't want to say plain because he's still really cool, even just being the front of a truck, front of a fire truck, that is, still Fire Convoy. And I think in some ways he actually looks better without those on, but it still looks cool either way. Here is Cerebros for Fortress Maximus, the Robots in Disguise version, which is another different color. I don't know too much about. I do know that he and his brother fought over to control the Titan, if I remember correctly, because I never watched the whole show. I just read a little bit of a summary about the show. Go ahead and take a closer look at his detail. I mean, look at those eyes. I mean, that's just absolutely stunning. Very bright metallic color. Just so pretty. Same with the rest of his face. More so than chrome. I just think it looks really cool. Articulation. The articulation has been improved since the original. Head is on a ball joint. You can look up and down. Gets a little bit of wibbly wobbly. Well, actually quite a decent amount, although it is a little bit at an angle. Can do a full 360. And also position the antennae however you think looks best. Arms can do a full 360. Arms can go out that far on a double joint. There is no bicep rotation. There is an elbow rotation. Over 90, about 90 degree bend at the elbow. Wrist rotation. Hands do not open up, but they are nicely detailed. There is a little bit of a waist swivel, but not a whole lot. That's more for Omega Prime configuration, or even, I think, just Super Mode Prime configuration, but there is a little bit of hip rotation there. He does have a little bit of thick legs or thighs, but that's to help support the Super Mode. So he looks like he just hits leg day pretty hard. So he can do the full splits. Leg, I guess I popped him off. Get over there. Popped him off the stand. And just popped him open right there. But very nice, very stiff joints, but I guess that's also for Omega Prime because you want him to be stable, but he can kick pretty far forward. Keeps popping it out. It's probably because of this getting the way this, but legs can't really go that far back because of the backpack. Get a thigh rotation as well as a knee rotation, which is a little inconvenient when you're trying to rotate the thigh. Get a little less than 90 bend at the knee. And then you have a ball joint for the foot, just like on the original. So you do get a little bit of ankle tiltage, and you can move it forward and back just ever so slightly. And here we have the accessories, super mode accessories in their base modes, and I'd say that the newer one definitely pulls it off better, even though there is this little weird extra panel hanging off because it's another thing that helps it hold together better in truck mode. But yeah, it does a better job of hiding the super mode head, although I can't really say that that's even really hidden, but definitely more hidden than that one right there. Oh boy, was he a doozy? Of course, usually. It always seems to happen whenever you're trying to do something on camera. It's much harder than it would be otherwise. Normally those feet aren't so difficult to get on there. And same with getting this thing up top done, but just some of the clips were not going to clip into place. Here we have Fire Convoy in his super mode, or Super Fire Convoy, or whatever exactly is the proper name for this configuration. But he is super cool. I think in some ways I might like this configuration a little bit more than the combined Omega Prime configuration. I just think that the red, it just looks so cool. Articulation, I will just show off the things that are different because pretty much everything else is the same. Like there is a little bit of an ankle tiltage right here. The waist does have a better swivel, like I said, because since that's extended, there is more waist rotation there. The head is on like this double hinge thing, but that's also, I think, more for transformation, but you can look up and down quite a bit. Has quite a bit of wibbly wobbly and can do a full 360, and there's a lot of nice chrome on those antennae gun things. It's just so pretty, so cool. I like the face. The face does remind me just a little bit of Optimus Primal's battle mask, or when it's off, it looks a little more well, has a little more going on than the standard faceplate. I love this. Looks like a bandolier almost. Just looks so cool. Under here, we do have the Matrix thing. It can come out. Just one of these little green square things and a little slot right in there. The original one has a similar thing, but it does not come out. It is just a solid molded in piece. And let's just go ahead and wipey the chromie to get the fingerprint off. The only real chrome for this guy is here and here, and then right on there. And so I don't have to worry as much. It's Ultra Magnus. He's the one that has the most chrome, and it's just a real pain. Anyway, another thing that can be done in this mode, well, there's also a little weapon storage, which I think is really nice. And just to see the size difference, he is on a stand, so he is going to be up here a little bit bigger. They are roughly the same height, but he has more, what's the word? A bigger presence. So I think he is a bit taller, but as far as like body height and all that, they are about the same. So cool. He has an extra neck thing, so his head sits a little bit higher and does a little bit more. Oh yeah, and I guess I can go ahead and show this off. I mean, I show it off. I think I showed it off in the review that I did of this guy on a previous Christmas special, which is why I thought it'd be so sweet to do this. Well, not just him, but this set for Christmas, because oh man, it is definitely Christmas worthy, even if I've been sitting on this review for longer than I would have liked. Okay, and another thing that can be done, also another thing, since he is slightly taller, you do not have to flip this like that for the robot mode like you do with the original one, but you can rotate this around. And one of my concerns, and I might actually at some point go about taking this ladder apart and taking a look at the ratchet, because going this direction it feels normal, but going down it feels like something's going to eventually snap. And I don't remember hearing anyone else voice that concern, but it is definitely a concern of mine. But this is really cool that you can flip it around like that, and then the stand is holding it up pretty well, and then you can flip these out, and then of course flip and flip out the rocket launchers, which is really cool. Now for the moment that we've all been waiting for the Super Twins to unite, or whatever. I know it's not exactly what happened, but you know, it feels like, you know, twin powers activate almost. Kind of feel, but they're not twins and all that, but I think that's pretty cool. They grasp hands, or more like Optimus grasps his thumb, but it's still pretty cool. And yeah, time to get them into Omega Prime. And here we have Omega Prime in his combined mode with the Master Sword, or at least what looks like the Master Sword, not the Legend of Zelda Master Sword, but the Master Sword from Transformers Head Masters. And it's so big that at least in this frame you cannot see the whole blade, but it is quite massive, and the handle itself is almost as tall as Omega Prime, like about 3/4 of the way there, and then the blade itself is taller than him if you don't count the wings. Like, it goes pretty much above his head, so that is pretty crazy. So it does make me think of more of a Titan's weapon, other than the fact the handle right here is meant for, well, a smaller bot to wield. But man, it is an impressive weapon. You can make the handle shorter if you desire, and there is Cybertronian text here, which apparently there's it going one way and then mirrored the other way, but apparently it means till all are one. I once knew Cybertronian just a little bit, but I'm going to take the word for it from the internet that that's what it means. So that's pretty cool. And for comparison, and the last comparison, I mean, oh man, he had his place. I realized I actually did not do a review of Omega Prime for the original one. I only did the them individually, but this, honestly, and I hate to say it, but this is honestly the weakest mode. Not necessarily as far as looks. Like, looks, it's pretty decent, but especially considering it's from 2001, but the thing that really sucks is that it has not aged well, like physically. First, part of it's yellowed plastic, but that I can even, set aside because, like I said, it's old. But let's take the camera down a little bit. But the legs, especially now we don't have the big old Master Sword in the way, but the legs, now granted he is on a stand, but he is extremely stable. He is filled out a bit better too. The whole body is better proportioned. He has more of a neck, and it's just significant improvements were made for this guy. Like I said, there are some quibbles I have with some of the choices that were made that feel just a little cheap, but this guy, it's sad. Like, I can't get this leg really to stay tabbed in. Like, this it just comes undone just like that, and there's not much else to hold it in place. So I cannot really get any poseability other than a basic standing pose. So if I try anything else, he'd probably fall over. And then obviously another thing is the profile is just significantly different. He's more well proportioned, whereas he's a bit off, at least more so. One thing I will point out is that the way I have the back transformed, I guess I can go ahead and get this guy out of the way, but the way I have him transformed is technically not how the instructions say to do it, but I like the way this looks. So it makes the back right there look very clean. Now, this is something that I kind of forgot that I left it there, but you can put the gun there if you want to, but it does look a little out of place, but you can put it there. It doesn't really store well much of anywhere else as far as I'm aware. There's one more thing you can do with blue bolts. You can put her in her gun mode up here like that. I mean, I suppose that works. I mean, as long as you don't shake Prime around too much, should be able to sit up there quite comfortably. May as well put the Master Sword in as well. Have him holding that in addition to having blue bolts up there, and just see how that looks together. Although getting the sword to sit just right in his hand, even with those tabs, is quite tricky, unfortunately. As you can see, it's going to fight me a little bit. You have to have the pommel on the ground, or else it's just not really gonna work all that well. I never thought that I would ever do it, that I'd even bother to do it, but I guess I'm a madman. So I decided to do the fan mode, the secret hidden mode, which I think I have mostly correct, and then it makes even more sense why this popped out the way it was instead of being more solidly in place. It makes perfect sense now. I wasn't exactly sure how to attach this initially, but I did see a helpful YouTube video about that. It's pretty gnarly that they decided to do that. The downside is that it does not stay on at all. There's no way that his arm will support it, so it's always going to be like this unless you want to have a support stand for it or something like that. But this actually looks surprisingly cool, and it does utilize every single piece of Fire Convoy, and that is amazing. And then he's still holding the Master Sword, so that's really cool. Yeah, I'm not even sure if I'm even gonna bother to try rotating this guy around, because this is probably gonna drop off if I try. Okay, well, I at least want to show off the back real quick. I think I did an okay job. Looks like some extra shielding or something. I was hoping to put that on the forearms a little bit, but hey, it's a place to put them if you want to put them. But I think this is probably about the best I can do with this setup. So yeah, last minute addition to my Christmas special. Boy howdy, has this been a long video, but I hope you enjoyed my Christmas special, and even more so, I hope you had a wonderful Christmas day, or will have a wonderful Christmas day if you happen to be watching this a little bit earlier in the day. But that's about it for Transformers Haslab exclusive 2001 Robots in Disguise Omega Prime. If you like this review and you'd like to see more, please click the like and subscribe button to see more. Until next time, Merry Christmas!